or maybe less imperfections. Oh my God, we're gonna get mugged. Today, we're going to be going over the process of how to remove scratches and swirls, comparing a one-step polish versus two steps, showing you the differences and also how to use it. So let's get started. Today we have this beautiful Mazda in the shop, and we're going to show you how to remove those scratches and swirls, because as you can see, this vehicle has light scratches and swirls which happen during the washing and drying process. And we're going to compare our one-step versus our two-step. Starting off with VSS Scratch and Swirl Remover, this is a one-step polish, meaning that you only need one product that's going to remove those imperfections. So you still have to go through the same process of washing the vehicle, decontaminating it using a clay bar. But when it comes to the paint correction process, we're going to be using one product. And VSS contains a micro abrasive that helps to diminish micro scratches and swirls, any kind of blemishes like oxidation, in one step. So you don't have to follow it up with a final polish, it's all in one bottle. But if you have deeper imperfections or heavier scratches and swirls, maybe you have water spots or just things that won't come out of the paint, that's where we go for our two-step process using a C4-P4 combination. C4 has a heavier abrasive, which means it removes deeper imperfections, but you can't stop with the compound, so you have to follow it up with a polish like P4, and this is going to help just refine the finish and really jewel the paint. Now we're going to show you the process using both, just to show you what the comparison will be, starting off with our Torque 15 DA. To begin, we have our Torque 15 DA, and that means it has a 15mm throw. And if you're unfamiliar with what dual actions are, or polishers in general, the throw refers to how far this pad is going to go side to side as it oscillates. So it's going to spin in one axis, and it's also going to follow that, creating that 15mm throw. Now, I've already attached a orange Hexalogic pad. This is going to give us a medium cut but a heavy polish, meaning that it's going to be great for a combination of VSS and also our compounds. This is a great way to start off because we don't want to use the most aggressive pad or combination because you're removing a lot of material. This causes marring, and this is a great way to get the best results with taking off the least amount of material. So we'll start by applying some VSS. Just shake up the bottle. And again, VSS is a one-step product, meaning this doesn't need a follow-up. Essentially, it's your compound and a polish in one. And we're going to add 5 dime-sized dots, or about the size of 1 hex, to our pad. And then a little bit of pad conditioner. This is going to help just moisten the pad. Prevents dusting. It also reduces a lot of the friction so that the pad can last as long as possible. And now, starting off in a 2-foot by 2-foot section, we'll just spread out this product using the lowest speed setting. And I like to work from the center out. This way you're not reaching across an area that you've already polished. But on the dual action here, or the torque, we'll just turn on to the first speed setting, spread it out, and then using the highest speed setting, we're going to work this in until it goes basically clear or translucent. Then we'll wipe off any of that excess and check our work. So now that VSS has gone basically clear, we're going to grab a clean microfiber towel and just buff off any of the residue. And already just with one polish or one product, a lot of depth and clarity has been restored because we removed a lot of that micro scratches and swirls. Now obviously deeper scratches and swirls require a heavier cut, which is why we're going to show you the process using a two-step compound and polish. But a few things to keep in mind whenever you're polishing is to keep the pad completely flat on the surface. You want the pad itself to be making all the contact Also, the amount of pressure that you apply to the pad has a lot to do with how well it's going to cut. You want to use the weight of your hand plus the weight of the machine, maybe a little bit extra. You're going to listen for that tone change. And also, as you're polishing, you want to cover about 50% of your last pass. This way you don't create tiger stripes or marring. Your arm speed should be about 1 inch per second. I'm sure a lot of you have seen those videos or people who polish really fast back and forth. This creates marring and tiger stripes, and once you take it outside, you're going to see all those holograms. So you want to slow your process down. This way you get the best results. Now we're going to reset using a brand new Orange Hex Logic pad, but this time we're going to use our C4 compound. And again, this has a more aggressive cut, has more aggressive abrasives, which is going to refine and deeper imperfections. Anything you basically see that you can't get out with a one-step, this is going to be the best way to remove that. So we'll start off by shaking with the bottle. And again, we're going to add just about 5 dime-sized dots. Dimes are about the size of 1 hex. And on the lowest speed setting, we'll spread this out. And on the highest speed setting, we'll break it down. But as you saw, we also started the machine and stopped the machine on the surface. This is going to prevent the polish or compound from flinging all over the place, making a mess. Just grab some more pad conditioner. We'll do a little side-by-side next to what we've already polished, using a 2 foot by 2 foot section. 2 foot is about the width of your shoulders, so this is just a more comfortable way to polish. And again, I start from the center out, this way I'm not reaching across areas that we've already polished. Spread it out using the lowest speed setting, and then on the highest speed setting, we'll break it down until it goes basically clear. Now we're going to listen for that tone change. This is about where you want to be. This is too fast. The pad's not actually making enough contact. And now you can hear the load of the machine. The pad is still spinning. This is going to be the best way to break down that abrasive. So now that our C4 has gone basically clear, we'll take a fresh microfiber towel and just again wipe away any of the excess and that spent compound. Reveal that polished surface. Now a camera may not translate, it may look perfectly fine, but we're going to refine this even further to really jewel that paint using our P4 polish. And it's just going to take care of any of those final micro scratches and swirls, any kind of hazing that's caused from the pad or the compound. And again, really enhance the depth, but already we can see a lot of the scratches and swirls have been removed, even a lot of those deeper imperfections. But a little detailing tip is if you can feel the scratch with your fingernail, it's too deep to polish out. This would require wet sanding and more compound polish, more steps, but for a vehicle like this and what the owner's looking for, the 2-step is probably the best way to go, just to give them the most clarity and depth. But if you were short on time, a 1-step is also a great way to achieve a beautiful finish. And this is also a great thing to do on newer vehicles that have lighter scratches and swirls or maybe less imperfections. Have our white Hex Logic pad. A lot of you may be wondering why there's a hole in the center. This is actually where all the heat is generated. So we've reduced the chances of causing marring and imperfections by just removing that centerpiece. Now we'll just attach it to our backing plate. This is a 5-inch backing plate. Now we're perfectly centered. We'll just add a little bit of our P4. Again, we use 5 dime-sized dots because we're still working in that 2 foot by 2 foot section. And the reason why we use a dime-sized dot is because we're using the combination of the pad and the chemical to do all of the work. You want to make sure that the pad has enough material to break down, but also that it's giving enough friction so that it actually can refine the finish. So again, we'll just dab it out. On the lowest speed setting, we'll spread this out. And then on the highest speed setting, we'll start breaking it down. Now, if you're using a rotary polisher, that means it's going to spin on one axis. This creates a lot of heat, so you have to move your machine a lot faster. But if you're a newbie, a dual action polisher is a great way to hone your polishing skills. So now that we're done using our P4, we'll just take the other side of our microfiber towel and just wipe away any of that last remaining polish and reveal that beautiful, freshly corrected surface. And it really is that simple to get your car looking its best. So at this point, your vehicle could be coated to lock in that shine using a combination of ceramic or a sealant wax combination. This is going to help repel harmful elements, but a ceramic is going to give you the most longevity. Think of it as a sacrificial layer of clear coat, which is going to absorb micro scratches and swirls and also enhance your depth. So guys, we have a lot more work to do on this vehicle, but a few more things to cover before we leave. We'll just recap is the difference between a one-step and a two-step is obviously one chemical to remove deep imperfections, scratches and swirls, oxidation, water spots. A one-step is going to save you time, but a two-step is going to give you a more thorough polish. And in cases where you have deeper scratches and swirls, it'll give you a better result. So if you're short on time, go with VSS or a one-step polish. If you have the time or if you have deeper imperfections or are looking to get the most clarity, use a two-step polish or even a multi-step polish. So guys, that's the difference between a one-step and a two-step polish. We really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you learned something new or there's something you want to learn, drop it down in the comments down below. If you guys liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. It's free, and we'll see you guys next time right here in the Detail Garage.